Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to our Life After J-Dubs live stream. Well, today we have a very, very bubbly person. We'll find out who that is very shortly. But in the way of an introduction, self-esteem. How would you say your self-esteem is? How do you know what a good self-esteem is? Are there things we can do? Are there questions we can ask? Well, in the way of an introduction, we're going to play a bit of a video and then bring our guest on. So let's just all go and we'll get this going and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So, I'll just stop that for a minute. Self-esteem. It was a nice little video. Is there any truth to it? Is there any facts in it? Well, let's bring our guest in and we'll find out. Hello, Jeanette.
Hi, Shane. How are you?
Good, mate. And how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
And is it nice and warm down in Dunedin in the South Island of New Zealand?
It's not too bad today, actually.
Oh, no, tropical weather.
No, it's actually nice. Mild.
Oh, that's good. It is pretty mild, really. So,
Yeah.
Tell me, we watched that video. How truthful is it?
Well, what the video shows is accurate. But from what I found, there are some hacks and some extra information that's missing that might actually be helpful, especially for us coming from the JW backgrounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So, sorry.
No, what I might do, I just noticed some of the comments. If I can track that video down, we might just play it again because it was silent, which was wonderful. So let me just bear with me and
no worries.
Get that up and running. And then we'll
No
just
problem.
replay it and hopefully go and good and happy. We'll be able
No
to
problem.
get that sorted. Now let me, where did I see that? So while we're talking, while we're
Yeah.
tracking this down,
Yeah.
just let's look at the self-esteem side of things.
Yeah.
And what is self-esteem? Let's start with that.
Well, it's easy to break it down. I mean, self it's self-explanatory.
Yep.
Self is you, and then esteem is where you place yourself in a mental hierarchy
Okay.
compared to others.
Yep.
Where you place your, like, if you're first or second or third, or if you're last in the class.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. I just about got the video. So is it important to have a healthy self-esteem?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And
Why?
if you don't, it's very easy to rectify. The thing is, the way you view yourself is the way you project everything. So
Yep.
everything you have to share with the world is either positive or negative based on your view of yourself.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All going well. I found the video again after dropping it off.
Okay.
And we'll just make sure. I know what I did wrong. I didn't push share audio, which isn't
Oh.
helpful. It's not
You
very
live and you
helpful.
learn.
Yeah, right. That's the one there. Um, okay. It's run away. All right. We will try again. Just bear with me, folks. My apologies. Share screen. And hopefully this time we'll have it. Yes, here we go. Right. If you can't hear the sound, please let us know in the comments so that we can rectify that. So here we go this time.
Your sound is muted on the video.
Sound is muted on the video. Right, we'll stop.
There we go.
It is too. Right, we'll get
That's
that
it.
on. And now we'll start it again. All right, here we go.
Hi everyone, it's Yanis here, and in this video we will explore what is self-esteem. If you don't believe in yourself, or if you can't accept yourself, then how can you expect others to do that? If this is your first time on this channel, then make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon to get updates on my latest videos about time management and productivity. Self-esteem is a person's overall sense of self-worth or personal value. In other words, how much you appreciate and like yourself. Self-esteem plays a significant role in your motivation and success through your life and your ability to achieve the things that you desire. People with low self-esteem are often doubting themselves, and that is holding them back from achieving their goals. For example, if you don't believe that you can get that promotion at work, then it's likely that you will not even apply for it. Without taking action to apply, you'll miss out on opportunity even if you're the most suitable candidate for that position. On the other hand, having high self-esteem can help you massively because you navigate life with high positivity, assertive attitude, and believe that you can accomplish your goals. If you're wondering if you have high or low self-esteem, then here are some signs that might indicate one or another. Signs of high self-esteem. First, you avoid dwelling on past negative experiences. Second, you feel confident. Third, you have positive outlook on life. Signs of low self-esteem. First, you believe that others are better than you. Second, you have intense fear of failure. Third, you have a trouble saying no. If you're struggling with low self-esteem, then don't worry, because there are ways how you can build up your self-esteem. First, see failure as an opportunity to grow. This will give you more confidence to try out new things. Second, learn something new. You can do that by reading a book or taking an online course. Third, take little steps and build it up. You don't have to do it in one day or 1 week. Just make sure that you're moving forward. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I was able to give you a quick summary of what self-esteem is and how to improve it. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could press the like button, as this will help the video reach more people and spread the message.
Right, we got it that time.
That's it.
Okay, so starting on that again, now that we've heard the sound, practical or not?
The video isn't practical. It tells you what to do, but it doesn't tell you how to get there.
Okay,
So
cool.
in my opinion, there are a few steps missing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be able to work on here are some of those steps that we need to do. But would you say there's a need for us ourselves to do things?
What do you mean do things?
Well, we can either sit still, we can drink a beer, have a fizzy drink, have a coffee, and then think, oh yeah, that's fine. Or do we need to take practical steps to start building on our self-esteem?
I think self-esteem is an inside job. It happens up here. So there is some work to do, but it's not physical steps. It's some of it could be physical steps if you choose that route, but I find the easiest is the exact opposite of the way it was programmed. And the way it was programmed was by the things we heard, saw, and thought.
Okay.
Which is exactly which we need to approach.
Yep.
Yeah.
So looking at the J-Dub side of things, how were we programmed in the Jehovah's Witnesses to have the self-esteem that we have now?
Yeah, look, the thing is, we were constantly reminded to be lowly and to be humble. And while we were told not to compare ourselves, we were always given targets.
Yeah.
We were always given these hidden messages of you're not good enough unless you're doing what brother so-and-so does, or you're not good enough unless you're putting in so many hours as this one does, or even if it's just your own thoughts that are going on, you're looking at the others thinking, why can't I be like that? Why can't I do what they're doing?
Yep.
So either way, the programming happened automatically because we got the input and our brains made the connections that it did. Yeah. So I said self-esteem is an inside job, which means that the change has to happen inside. And the most important step for that is honesty.
When you say honesty, what do you mean?
I know it sounds really ludicrous, but we are dishonest at least 1,000 times a day.
Really?
Absolutely.
1,000 times a day?
Absolutely.
Okay,
when
so
someone asks you how you are and you're not doing so well and you say, I'm fine, thanks. Is that the truth?
Depends if the mask is slipping or not, I guess.
See, scientists have done studies, and they have found that even the smallest lie that you say or even think makes your body weaker. They have tested people's strength compared when they say something that they know to be true and then something that they know to be false, and their strength is extremely diminished when they are lying. So every single thing that we say that we don't actually mean, our brain is conscious of, and our brain is sending stimulus and hormones and everything else to the rest of our body, which either agrees or disagrees with what we're saying. And if it disagrees, we're automatically in a state of stress. And this creates programming when it's repeated over and over and over. And our brains are so amazing that they take the things we do and they try to make them easier. So the more we do something, the more our brain creates a hack to make it easier. just like when you're teaching yourself to do something new. The more you do it, the easier it becomes.
Yep.
Because your brain finds a way to make those things happen automatically. And that's what our brain has done with the kind of thinking, the kind of reactions our body makes to it, and then the kind of hormones and feelings that were created. So the lies, the little lies that we tell ourselves, we're not even aware of anymore, but they have created a state within us that has weakened us. And this gives us the impression that we are worth less than other people.
Yeah.
Because automatically our posture is lower, we hunch or we look down. And when you're telling the truth and you're confident in what you're saying, you automatically stand or sit with your shoulders back, and you're proud of what you have to say. So teaching yourself, automatically our posture is lower.
Yep.
Teaching
Sorry.
yourself to reprogram that in your own mind is one of the only ways to actually raise your self-esteem long term. Because it's easy to say, sorry?
Can you say that again?
Teaching your brain.
Oh, yeah, teaching our brain.
Yeah. When you're saying something that you believe in, automatically your brain is sending good hormones, like building up hormones to the rest of your body, and your posture improves. Your shoulders go back, you're proud, you're facing the world without fear, because you have nothing to fear, because you're speaking the truth, and you're proud of it, which means that this using your body could actually be a hack. It could actually be a hack to retrain your brain. If you were inclined to use this first option, you could teach yourself and keep reminding yourself all the time to stand or sit with your shoulders back and your chest out and with your head up, your chin lifted, which means you will automatically be bypassing the thoughts and the emotions, and you will be forcing your body to be the leader, to which will create the hormones, and your brain will respond to those. And the more often you do it, the more often your brain is going to be like, okay, no, let's just keep doing it. It's going to take it over. And then after a while, you won't have to try anymore. You'll see automatically. But that's why I'm saying it's a hack, but it's not a long-term thing. The long-term thing is being honest, even in the little things. Like what I mentioned, if you're not fine, say, I could be better.
Yep.
Or if you don't want to say anything, that's also fine. But then, like I say, every lie adds to the programming that your body is getting. So now, as the JWs, as ex-JWs, we have an added bonus to add to our self-esteem. The fact that we got out, the fact that we were strong enough to choose the truth, the actual truth, above anything else, above the consequences, above anything bad that could happen. We chose our integrity.
Yep.
That could be something that could really boost our confidence and our self-esteem. But it's only going to be helpful if it's repeated as often as the negative things were, which created the state. So the self-esteem is basically just what you're secretly and quietly constantly telling yourself about you. So when I tell somebody, yes, I'll go with you on Saturday shopping, but then I don't actually want to go, then my body is going to have to lie to me the whole time until Saturday, so that I can force myself on Saturday to actually go.
Yeah.
Because my body knows I don't actually want to go. My brain knows I don't actually want to go, but I don't want to admit it, because I'm not being honest. And being honest includes looking at why I don't want to go. Maybe it's something as simple as I'm afraid I'll be looked at funny because of my mole or something like that. But then when you look at it honestly, then you can look at what can be done about it. But while you're lying, you can't think of a solution for it.
Yeah.
But when I'm honest, I can just say, oh, well, if it bothers me that much, let me just put some makeup over it or something. Or let me find a way to accept myself the way I am.
Yep.
But as long as we're lying, we're wearing a cover. We're wearing a cover, and that cover is constantly sending signals to our brain and to our hormone systems to do things that we don't actually want it to do. And that's the problem with being an XJW. The programming is already there. It's already so strong. We don't want it to be there because it's not helpful anymore.
No.
But it's there, and we don't know why. And we keep thinking that because we're thinking certain things and because we're feeling certain things, it means something about us and it says something about us, which actually causes another cycle around to us feeling worse about ourselves and having worse self-esteem as a result. And then the hormones get created. So it's just a cycle. It's just a vicious cycle. But there's very easy things that can be done about it. Very easy.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Okay, before we get into those easy things, what are some of the hormones? You mentioned a few times that our body produces the hormones that are get into us when we subconsciously or unsubconsciously, we go, like the example used before. Yep, I'm fine. What are some of the hormones that are produced, and obviously they're not that healthy? Did I get that?
Oh no, they are healthy ones. They're all healthy. They're all healthy under specific contexts. The fight or flight hormones, I'm not sure what exactly they're called right now. It escapes me. But the fight or flight hormones have their place. But if you're stuck in a mental picture that makes those fight or flight hormones come up all the time, then they're not helpful. Just like the serotonin, those that make you feel happy, those that you get from exercise, they're good, but they're not good when you're grieving a loved one.
No.
No. Because that's when you need to feel different emotions. So the thing is, when you're grieving, you look down and you're wiping your face, all of those specific things that we do with our hands and the facial expressions, what we do, they're all signals for our brain and our systems to do specific things. And when they do specific things consistently for a long period of time, then unfortunately our brain accidentally makes it a habit.
Okay.
So the thing can be explained further by the example of tests that they've done just with a simple pen. They put a pen in someone's mouth and told them to hold it with their teeth. You would hold it like this.
I'll just enlarge it so we can. Can you just do that again so we can see? Okay, so a pen like that in the mouth.
Yes.
Okay.
And this, when you look at my face without my finger there, it looks like a smile. So when I have when they had the pen there, the people's facial muscles were in a smile, and then they compared it with people in a group, or even those same people holding a pen with their tongue. With their lips, which would make it like this.
Oh, okay.
And without the finger, it's an upset face, like I'm grumpy, and they held the pen for 5 minutes in each position, and then they told the people their mood. And when they had the pen like this, the hormones for feeling happy and their general mood was more positive. And when they had the pen like this and the face looked grumpy, the muscles and the expressions sent the signals to the brain that I'm grumpy. And they automatically said, had lower vibrations, lower feelings that they wrote down. So our body can be the thing that we work through. Our body can be the vehicle through which we do it. But yeah, they activate those hormones. Like there's a specific hormone, the male hormone, I think it's testosterone. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They have proven that if you have your hands above your head and locked behind your head,
Yep.
like this, for at least 5 minutes before you go into a really important meeting, your body produces more testosterone and you see yourself automatically in a higher view compared to
Really?
the people you're going to be talking to. Yes. And that means that you're going to be more confident with whatever you say and going to be more likely to get the result, because people are going to see in you and your facial expressions what mood you're in and how serious you are and how proud you are of what you have to say and how meaningful you view your own viewpoint in that discussion. So all of those things are actually, they've been proven by science.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. So if we see people running around up like this, or like this,
yes,
in the guy's case,
yeah, even in women, if women are on their way into an important meeting,
yep,
and they could do with a boost of testosterone as well. Our bodies produce it too. Your
wow,
body produces
okay,
estrogen too, just
yep,
very minute amounts. But just that posture alone makes your body produce it, and your brain automatically acts as if there's a reason for it to be there.
wow. In my mind, I'm picturing a whole bunch of people going, walking down the street. That's absolutely amazing. Now, we had a question while you were talking about that.
Go for it.
Is keeping a secret same thing as telling a lie?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Sure, there are extenuating circumstances.
Yep.
Absolutely. If
Nuclear codes for the government. Got to keep them secret.
If it's something important, the point is just you not lying to yourself. So if you are keeping a secret that you know you shouldn't, then you are lying to yourself. But if you are keeping a secret because you have somebody's best interests in mind, or somebody's safety in mind, or you're just trying to be a good confidant, then by all means. But it's what you're going to tell yourself about that secret that's going to determine whether your body sees it as a lie or not.
So what can you tell yourself? If it's something that needs to be kept confidential, what can we tell ourselves so that it's not going to break the morals or our own thinking on it to cause us to lie to ourselves?
Well, that's easy. You just ask yourself, what is the actual truth about this?
Okay, cool.
You just have to be completely honest and say, this is the fact, and then just allow yourself to accept it.
Right.
Like if I'm keeping a secret from my daughter because it's a surprise.
Yep.
And she's asked me, do I have anything for her? I can say no and be confident because it's not something that's going to harm her. Right. It's something that's going to add to her happiness once she has it.
Yeah.
So it depends on what we tell ourselves. That's the secret to it. It's all what we tell ourselves. And if what you tell yourself is a lie, that's what's going to affect your self-esteem automatically.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah,
This is very insightful. You know that, Jeanette.
I'm glad. I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of growth of my own. This was learned so that
Yep.
I could learn how to help myself. So I
Great.
only know it because I've used it. I've, you know, done the trial and error, and I've watched so many lectures and
Mhm.
done so many courses,
Well, we're very grateful for you sharing your knowledge. Okay, so
Thank
getting
you.
back onto it before we went back. Now, you mentioned there are some simple steps that can help us. Let's
Yeah,
have a look at some of those steps that can help us improve in here with our view of our own self-esteem.
yeah. Okay, so the first one, like I mentioned, is the body.
Yep.
And what you can do is, like I said, force your posture straight and your
Mm-hmm.
head up. And when you do look at somebody, look them in the eyes. Don't look down. This will force your body to send the right signals to your brain to say, don't worry, this is not a situation where we need the grief hormones. This is not a situation where we need the fight or flight. This is a situation where we can feel confident and know that our value is either at their level or maybe a bit above if we're feeling a bit prideful.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the first one. And that alone can assist if we make a habit of also being honest with ourselves all the time. But that is the absolute basis for it, the honesty. So the other option would be to teach yourself to meditate using an app. I found a nice one called Calm, CALM.
Mm-hmm.
It's a free app. They have quite a few different soundtracks and things that they offer for free. And then you can slowly but surely teach yourself to be present. Or you can try and go it on your own by, while you're having conversations or being somewhere, you focus on being actually where you are instead of letting your mind be somewhere else at the same time. But these three take time. They take a long time. They take concerted effort, and trying to do the one by teaching yourself to be present or just to be grateful or just to focus, that might actually take away from the attention that is needed from you at the moment, because you're trying to tell yourself to focus at the same time as you're trying to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I found the best one by far is something I found from the Crappy Childhood Fairy. She does videos, and she has courses and things on YouTube, especially for people who have had a crappy childhood.
So what
Like
was that channel again? I'll just bring it
the
up.
Crappy Childhood Fairy.
Crappy childhood. Okay. Yeah. Come up. Okay, so no funny spellings in there.
The Crappy, Crappy Childhood Fairy.
Okay, I think I've got it here. So we'll just bring that up so we can see what we're.
So this I mentioned this because it could be especially helpful for people who come from a JW background and especially had a really hard childhood as a result of it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
it.
cool. That's her there.
Yes. So from the free course that she offers,
Mm-hmm.
I gleaned a very helpful hack, and it was life-changing for me. So
Would you like to? Can you share that with us?
I'm sure I can. I adjusted it, so it's not exactly the way she does.
No, that's fair enough.
But
Yep.
I thought, getting the idea from her, I should at least let people know that she has even more to offer. Not that I'm advertising for anyone.
Yep.
I just like to share what I learned so that other people have access to all the resources that I've had access to. Yeah, so basically the idea is, as often as you can, stop what you're doing, ask yourself, what am I worried about right at this moment? And then be completely honest. And then you ask yourself, what is another perspective? Or what could be another viewpoint of this?
Yep. Yep.
Now, what this does is it forces your brain instantly, sorry about that, instantly to be present. And
Okay.
at the same time, it's creating a habit where as soon as you're present, your brain gets the message to look for other options, to look
Yep.
for other alternatives. And that is the thing that someone with high self-esteem automatically does.
Okay.
Everyone has problems.
Mhm.
Everyone has challenges.
Yep.
But if you have high self-esteem, you take any challenge on with everything you have. But when a challenge comes on and you have low self-esteem, it, brings you down even more. And you worry and you think about what could go wrong. And you think about, all the negative thoughts that are programmed to go on,
Yep. Yep.
So the more often you do it, the quicker you see progress, because your mind gets tired of doing the same thing slowly. So after a few days for me, because I chose to do it in a notebook, I kept
Okay.
a little notebook with me.
Yep.
And as often as I could, I opened it up and I just quickly wrote down what's bothering me. And then I wrote it in as few words as possible. And then I wrote down what could be an alternative.
Right.
And then amazingly, my brain came up with different solutions. And the best thing about it is they felt better to think. They felt better to think. And if it feels better, the whole rest of your system takes its cue from that.
Yeah.
And then what you're doing is you're basically telling the old program, you were useful, but you're not needed right now. So let's go to this. So it's not exactly journaling, because you don't have to keep writing. You don't have to write down how you're feeling and write down what's happened.
Mhm.
You just ask yourself, how am I feeling right now, or what's bothering me right now? And then quickly ask yourself, what's a different perspective? And within a few days of doing this, my mind was doing it automatically.
Oh, is that right?
I just found myself, as the moment a problem arises, I don't even need to head to my journal anymore. My brain just says, oh, wow, I could see it this way, and automatically my self-esteem went up like a rocket.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you could do it by talking to yourself. You could do it by journaling. You could do it by doing a voice recording.
Okay.
You could
Yep.
do it by talking to a friend.
Mhm.
Whichever suits you and whichever you have time for. I mean, everybody takes a break to go to the loo. You could use that moment. Everybody takes a break to have a coffee. You could take that moment.
Yep.
When you're washing your hands, or whenever. There's no specific time or place. Even
Right.
when you stopped at a traffic light, you could just ask yourself, what's bothering me? What could be a different perspective? And basically what you're doing is reprogramming the whole, you're formatting the system, and your brain has no option but to do it, because its job is to make things easier. Yeah. So
Okay. We had another question come in.
no problem.
Is having doubts with ourselves lowers our self-esteem?
Yes.
How so?
Because if you're doubting yourself, then there's either something you're not being honest about, or
Okay.
there's something you don't want to know. And either way, it's going to lower your self-esteem because it means you're not being completely honest with yourself. If there is a doubt and you don't, what's the word? You don't delve into it and ask yourself, what is this really? What's really going on?
Yep.
Then you're choosing to cover it up. And covering it up is a lie, because your body and your brain knows it's there. So it's going to produce those signals that say, I'm weak because I'm lying to myself. But the moment you're honest, those doubts won't come up anymore. So if doubts do come up, all you have to do is just ask yourself, what's bothering me?
Okay.
And then you ask yourself, what could be a different perspective? Or what can I do about it practically? Yeah.
Cool.
I hope that's helpful.
I'm sure it is. If that hasn't answered the question, Stella, maybe you'd like to make another question. Okay, cool. Okay, so getting back onto the steps again.
Yeah.
So that one with asking ourselves the question, how are we feeling? What's a different perspective?
Yep.
Nice and simple.
Yeah.
What would be another positive step that we could do for ourselves?
The other one, it also takes time and it also takes effort, but it's also an option. You could, on purpose, deliberately, surround yourself with positive things. You could arrange specific times every day or every week where you only watch videos about babies, or you watch things that make you laugh.
Yep.
Or you have pictures up on your walls or on your fridge of something that makes you smile, or that makes you stop and look at it and actually feel appreciation or feel positive feelings. And the more there is, the more of the opposite stimulus your body's going to get, so that it's going to send the feel good hormones for your brain to say, here's a challenge, what can we do with it? Instead of saying, here's a problem, what am I going to do? What does this say about me?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's all about the questions we ask ourselves. And that's why I love that hack of journaling or asking yourself that question, because it uses the brain's power kind of against itself, because you're hacking it. It loves questions. Like we're constantly asking ourselves, why did I do that? Or why me? The brain loves that because it's a challenge. Our brains love to be challenged. And when we just add the right, recipe, when we ask ourselves, how can I feel happy today? Or how can I help someone today? Or how can I do something to feel proud of myself today? Our brains will automatically come up with an answer, because they are that good. Our brains love a challenge. And we underestimate the power of what it has to say when we ask the right questions. So combining the pictures and the opportunities to laugh or smile with enough of the right questions. So even if you don't want to do the asking yourself, what's bothering me and what's a different perspective, you could just ask yourself, what's a way that I can make someone smile today? Or, what's a way that I can remind myself to feel happy? Just simple questions, and your brain will do the rest. People make it complicated by saying, teach yourself to do new things and, practice feeling better and all those things, because it's not practical. But this is because you're addressing it at the source. The source is about what we ask ourselves. Like when I'm lying to you, I automatically ask myself, why did I do that? And then my brain says, because you're dumb. And that creates the cycle for the hormones to be produced that I'm dumb. But if I'm telling the truth to somebody and I give someone a flower, even just that, and that person smiles, then I can tell myself, honestly, I might have made someone's day.
Mm.
And that gives me power towards my self-esteem. So yeah, that's why I say self-esteem is an inside job.
Yep.
And we as ex-JWs have one of the biggest reasons to feel high self-esteem, because we had the courage and the fortitude and the, we had the strength to face the absolute truth, to not just ignore things. So of all people in the world, people who can leave behind something as foundational as their faith in search of actual truth, we can do this. We can force ourselves to start being absolutely honest, and even more so, absolutely honest about how valuable we are in comparison to other people. We have a lot to share. We have a lot to contribute because we are more honest, we are more motivated, and we are more devoted to actual truth than many other people are that say they are. Yeah.
Cool. So we had another question come in.
Yeah.
Everyone has insecurities. How can we manage it that it doesn't bother us?
Okay. Insecurities once again come from what we tell ourselves. So the best way through that is to be honest. It's to ask yourself, what exactly am I insecure about?
Right.
What do I think is going to happen? Because if I'm not honest, I can't see the problem. But if I'm insecure, then my brain can just say, okay, time to produce the fight or flight hormones again automatically. And then we're stressed and we don't know why.
Okay.
So asking yourself what exactly it is you're insecure about, even if it's painful, to be honest. I mean, sometimes you have to admit that, you have a pimple and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're going to be in front of a group of high businessmen or something, and you're thinking that they're going to see your pimple and think you don't wash your face.
Yep.
But if you're not honest about that, then you can't decide, what am I going to do about it? Because it's easy to just put that, cloak over it and say, I'm insecure. But the hard part is actually being honest with yourself and saying, why or what am I insecure about? So that our brain can do what it does best and give us the answer, so that we can clarify whether there's something we can do about it and then to do it, or whether there's nothing we can do about it and how we can integrate that into still feeling good about ourselves. And if you ask your brain, I have this pimple, but I have to arrive in front of these people, how can I still feel good about myself? And then your brain will come up with amazing, solutions. You'll be like, get yourself some makeup, even if you're a man. I mean, if it bothers you and you can do something about it, you faced it, then it's no longer something that your body has to produce these fight or flight hormones about, to say, oh my goodness, there's something unknown that I have to fear. But if you that's the thing, if you're not honest about it, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to take what the body is producing, these fight or flight hormones, and that puts you in a helpless position. That's why I say lies weaken you. The truth strengthens you. Yeah. So it's not about it's more about internal than external. So, I mean, if you lie to someone and say, I'm fine, at least just tell yourself, I'm saying this just because it's a quick conversation, just because it's someone who I don't care hears how it's really going with me.
Yep.
But it was an example for you to see how it's actually true that we do lie to ourselves the whole day long. We do lie. And that's fine. It's necessary to lie sometimes to people or to ourselves. But it's not helpful if it's extended and if it happens all the time, because then our body is all the time producing the wrong kind of hormones that are not helping us to have high self-esteem.
So just adding to that, here's another question. What about if our brain can't come up with a suitable solution?
Then you're asking the wrong question. If your brain cannot come up with a suitable solution, change your question. Like if I want a chocolate, but I'm out of money and I don't have it home, I could ask myself, how can I get money? But that's not going to be helpful because it's not going to be suitable because I don't have money. But if I ask myself, how can I come up with other options to get money? Or how can I ask somebody else to get me a chocolate? Then our brain can get creative and do what it's really good at. Yeah. So if I ask myself, how can I get my friend who I know has money to give me a chocolate? Or how can I order one online on a credit card? Or, the options are endless, and your brain is an endlessly creative machine. So if you're not getting the right answer, change your question. Questions are the key. Questions are the brain's language.
Yep.
It's the brain's, just like a computer. You have to put in the right message to get the right program to start up. If you don't click on the link for Google's not going to open up. You can click on Facebook all you want, but it's not going to open Google. So you're not asking the right question to your computer. And these tricks that I've talked about are the hacks to give you that link to open up either Google or Facebook, depending on what you want.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope that helps.
I think it does. It seems that questions to ourselves are quite important.
Absolutely. Because you're asking them anyway. You're asking them all the time.
Yep.
You're just not aware of it because they have become automated. The program is running on its own in the background. But you can make it, you can reprogram it to do that, but in a way that's more helpful to you, more proactive towards the life you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm having a bit of a smile to myself because certain individuals in the chat. No, I can't get chocolate to anywhere like Australia. Or the Philippines, or China, or the US. It might be cheaper to go and hop down and, no, I was going to say rob, but no, I'm not going to suggest illegal activities. So, yeah.
That's one of the things too. Your brain might come up with illegal options as well.
Oh, really?
But all you need to do is filter which one of the options that your brain comes up with is acceptable to you, and then use that.
Okay.
As long as you keep asking questions, you will keep getting answers. Yeah.
And if we don't get the answers, change the question.
Exactly. If it doesn't work, try again.
You sound like the guy who, and what's the guy who did Ford? He just kept trying until he came up with the right answer after 1,000 times or whatever it was.
Exactly. That's how anybody invented anything.
Yeah.
If something didn't work, they ask themselves, okay, what is it about this that's not working? Or what can I change? You know, they kept changing the questions in here until they got the right answer. And then they tried it, and that created a new experiment until they were successful.
Yeah. So there's really no point in asking the same question the same way with the same words then.
Exactly. Because you're going to keep getting the same thing.
Yep.
And that's going to leave you exactly where you are, which is not where we want to be.
No.
We as humans want to grow. We want to experience things. We want to feel things we haven't felt before. We want to hear and taste and feel and see novel things. The only way we're going to get there is by actually creating novel ideas and questions for ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
Cool.
if you have a map that takes you to who knows, from maybe a city in America, let's say New York, all the way to San Francisco. I mean, I'm just using names that everybody might know. If you have a map that takes you there, but you want to head to Mexico, you know, it's up to you to ask for a different map. And that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be asking your brain for a different map based on where you want to be instead of where you're used to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it was helpful.
We might have to use another example apart from chocolates next time. But that's all good. That's all good. So in the way of summary, what would your bit of encouragement be to those that do have a low self-esteem and are struggling?
To realize, first and foremost, that it's nothing at all. It says nothing about them.
Okay.
All it says is that the programming is no longer useful.
Yep.
It's no longer necessary. That's all. We have no reason to beat ourselves up anymore. In fact, like I said, as XJWs, we have every reason to have high self-esteem. And we can encourage that by following those tricks, choosing which one you want to and putting it into practice. Yeah.
Cool. Is it hopeless?
Not at all. Not at all.
So it's well worth spending the time like you've done on yourself to work on a good, healthy self-esteem.
Absolutely. If you want to be in a better place, it's worth the effort.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're not breaking some cardinal sin.
Not at all.
Good.
Not at all. You're doing what your brain is meant to do. You're just choosing which program is run instead of letting the automatic one run.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
all up to us.
Putting yourself in the driver's seat instead of being a passenger. That's all. Yeah. You're allowed to drive. You have the license. The brain belongs to you. So.
And that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
It is up to us.
There's no need to be a passenger in our lives anymore.
No.
Yeah. And we can determine what our brains and our whole hormonal systems do.
Yeah. Yeah.
By choosing different actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we fail and it doesn't work out, keep trying.
Exactly. Yeah. Remember to ask different questions.
Absolutely. Great.
Yeah.
We really want to say thank you for being part of the live stream today, Jeanette.
You're more than welcome.
Appreciate your time.
It's a pleasure.
Love your humor. We love your smile.
Thank you.
It's been great to have you on. So we want to say thank you for all those who were on our live stream today. If you'd like to reach out to Jeanette, we'll put her profile in the description in our Facebook group, and reach out to Jeanette. She is part of the Life After JW group. You've seen how bubbly she is, nice and easy to understand what she's talking. And if anybody wants to reach out to you, is that okay, Jeanette?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what we're talking about here today is something that is going to, up here, help us to start to dare to dream. We're not crazy.
No,
We're not silly. There's no silly thing not to answer.
there's no malfunctions.
No malfunctions. So as a group, we can go for it. We can enjoy our life.
Absolutely.
And we have the opportunity to be able to dare to dream and be able to
Absolutely.
work on a positive, happy, glorious future. So once
Yep.
again, thanks for being here. Thanks for the comments. And we look forward to seeing you again. And until next time, we look forward to
Thank-
catching you then. Catch you
Thank you
later.
to you too, Shane.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.
Life after Jehovah's Witnesses. What are we going to do? What can you do? Is it really possible that you can dare to dream?